Hello everyone, it's Red with RedDragonLeo.com, and it is the 27th of March 2011. I've kind of went off track here on the stock market a little bit, and as usual, as you know, that my site is not 100% about the stock market, but stock market trading on the dark side, folks. So that means I cover the Illuminati, the New World Order, and anything that the Federal Reserve gangsters, which basically is the Illuminati, do. So I try to cover that. This is George H. Bush, Daddy Bush, you know, it's Daddy Bush, and George Dummy Bush, and both the Clintons, you know, and Dick Cheney, George Soros, Warren Buffett, David Rockefeller, Jay Rockefeller, which ironically as a kid I met Jay Rockefeller when he came to the television station I was working at in 1980. Golly, what was it? Somewhere between 84 and between 85 and 89, he came to the television station. He was governor at that time of West Virginia, and I was working there as a kid, and he came there. Little did I know that he was part of the Illuminati, and I didn't even know what the Illuminati was back then, but you know, I guess he was born into it. What can you say? Does that make him an evil person? I don't know. I don't know him personally, but it certainly makes you wonder. His daddy certainly is, or granddaddy, whatever. I guess that'd be his granddaddy since he's 92 years old. I don't know. It's probably his grandfather. But anyway, there's another video here that talks about HAARP here, and that is this video right here that I put on here, and it clearly shows you evidence that the frequency range that was used was 2.5 to 3 hertz, which is very, very low bass tone, and this is what was used over there off the coast of Japan. Now the scary thing is they talk about Mount Fujiyama, I believe is how it's pronounced, and Mount Fujiyama, or Fuji, Mount Fuji, I guess. This is Mount Fujiyama or Mount Fuji. They are talking about it in this video that if it erupts, it will cause Japan to fall into the ocean. Everything, all of Japan. So basically when this here erupts, you're going to see all of Japan slide off into the ocean along this fault line that he explains in this video. So the odds are that the gangsters in the White House, the Cabal, the Federal Reserve, Nazis, sent submarines over here and dropped nuclear warheads, bombs underneath there that were set on a timer, I guess, to go off on March 11th, and they turned them on, I would suspect, at the same time they used HAARP. I'd say that's a combination of both. They did this all at the same time that this dwarf star that we see in the sky, it was coming near on March 11th, so it's all timing together at the same time. Now my question is that what if this dwarf star is a hologram? That we know that the gangsters have been using technology from these crashed / shot down UFOs since at least 1947. They reverse engineered a lot of it. They've been working with some of these reptilian aliens, and probably little gray guys too, and maybe the good guys too, and you know, the Illuminati took over, and that's one of the reasons they killed Kennedy, was because he was going to come on TV, along with some other things that he was going to do that were good. He was going to come on TV and tell the world that he was working with good aliens. The Illuminati didn't like that, so George H. Bush was one of them that was reportedly responsible for killing him and assassinating him so that he wouldn't say those things. Well, you know, that's speculation, but I believe it to be true because he's certainly evil. Regardless, they took all that technology for themselves, and they could, at this point, stage a fake alien invasion and stage a holographic dwarf star up there. I don't know. Is it likely that that's real? I think it's real, but it's a possibility that it's all staged. So I want to put that out there for you. Now, you got to wonder, why is NASA allowing their footage when I don't have the video up here yet, but I will. I'll put it up for you again. Why are they allowing the footage of this projected path to be seen, to where you can log in with that Nina a girl that she basically showed on the other post, which let's see, one of these other posts here that I did, this. Why is it that they allowed the average public to get access to this, to see this dwarf star or planetary body that's coming at us, and to be able to project it out, and to see that in September of this year is when the crap hits the fan and it becomes between us and the sun, and we have a extinction level event in which the Earth could basically shift, do a polar Earth shift, and then we'll end up having an area that looks like this, as you can see when you watch this video, where the United States is cut in half, California's gone, Florida's gone. Some scary stuff, folks. Real or false? I don't know. But if it's real, then it's going to happen, and there's nothing we can do about it unless you want to move to one of these areas and try to protect yourself. If it's false, then the Illuminati are going to try to stage it, and maybe, just maybe, the good guys, the white hats and the Pentagon, can take over HAARP and shut them down and not allow them to do this and shut down their technology. I don't know. So I don't know if it's real or false. You got to think about it. Certainly back in the dinosaur days, that was probably what wiped out the dinosaurs. So how many thousands of years this thing swung back through here previously, it was most likely this same planetary body or dwarf star that did that wiped it out. So these are all things that all point to the greatest stock market crash in the history of mankind coming. As far as mankind, if we wipe out all these people, then won't even be a stock market anymore, so we won't have to worry about it. But for now, the scary thought here, I did want to cover this, that if Japan falls into the sea, we'll have most likely a 1,000-foot tidal wave come in and hit the west coast of America, of course destroying California and a lot of Mexico, and it's going to be bad if that happens. So we got to look for that volcano to erupt if it erupts. So anyway, I did want to cover that kind of stuff. I'll do a little bit at a time. For now, let's move on to the stock market. And one of the things, there's an article here about the Feds raising interest rates, which may spook the market a little bit, because they are already saying that they are probably going to reveal a plan here. He said did not give a specific time, but in the not too distant future they are going to raise rates. So even a hint of that could cause our wave 3 down that we're looking for to start. So if they decide to raise rates, or even hint that they're going to raise rates, this could be just enough to spark the down wave that I'm looking for, a wave 3 down to start on Monday. Right now it seems to be about flat in the after hours of the market, or pre-market, whatever. Let's see here what I'm looking at. Actually it's up some right now. So maybe it opens, well, it was down, then up, down, up, so it's still only, it looks like just about where it closed, actually. Showing 13.11 in the after hours on the ES, but that's actually down from where it closed, I believe, 13.13. So anyway, so there's a lot of stuff here to think about, and I will put I think I'll put this video here again on, or this one here, one of them, on the blog again to include on this post. But let's go to the charts now at this point. And you can see that basically we have went up here, crossed above 50, as I thought it would be, that we would come up around this 50 level. We're at 54.58. If we get up above 66, and the bulls have just taken control, and it's you know, they're back on board, and we're going up to that high of 138.86 on the SPY, which is about 1388 on the SPX. So that's up here, folks, if that's the case. If we don't roll over here this week, we should start rolling over on Monday, I believe, because of the short-term charts, the way they're overbought. But here on the daily, we do have a little bit of room to keep on running up. There's no question about it. So maybe it just trades a little sideways tomorrow. It is bullish Monday, so it is possible that we could dip down here, reset one more time, and come back up here and put in another lower histogram tower and roll over into Tuesday. That's a possibility. So let's just, you know, keep that in mind, that even if it does dip down, it might just dip down just enough here to hit this trend line at 1310 or something, and then run back up one more time for another retest of this trend line, and maybe put in a slightly higher high. It's possible. That is possible by the end of the day, Monday. And if, you know, so, and in this case, it should roll down a little and start to work its way down lower, and maybe put in some lower, a negative divergence here on it. Basically, is what I'm looking for. So, being that it's up here so high, above above 5.0 and below 7.5, you don't really expect it to just turn and roll and fall off a cliff. It just usually doesn't do that. It's kind of the same scenario running back up. When you're down here at -10, you don't expect it to just completely just run straight up here and without dipping down on the way up. And as you notice right here, where there's a little dip here, a little dip here, both of those were selling right here and right here. So you kind of expect the same thing here rolling over. You expect it to kind of dip down, come back, put in a lower high, and then finally fall, which is your Elliott wave, basically, which is your 1, 2, 3 of a first wave down, or in this case of a wave 3 down. If this whole move here was wave 1, and we complete wave 2 either hit today, or I mean not today, but Friday on 1319, or we dip down and put in a slight higher high. Either way, I think we're pretty close to completing this and ready to go down and roll over. So if that's the case, and we do dip down like this, reset back up, and put in a lower high right here on the histogram towers, and the market moves up, puts in a double top or slightly higher, then on the daily chart, you would see it put in one more bar right here before it rolls over, and it should push up just a little bit higher. So that is a possibility for Monday. So let's keep that in mind as well. As for the 30-minute chart, as you can see, it is selling down here, and but up here we're way overbought. So does it dip down, recycle, put in a lower high, work its way down? That's a possibility. So it could run down here, just like I said, we're matching up with the 60. It could run down a little bit in the morning and recycle back up, put in another lower high right here, and put in a negative divergence, which will allow it to kind of go down here, back up. Might not even go all the way down, but I would suspect it would go all the way down and recycle back up. So that means Monday could be kind of a choppy day, down a little and then back up. That's a possibility. The only wild card, of course, with that is that anonymous guy that's supposed to have, which was on another post here, the people posted it on the blog. The guy's name was, let's see, well, he didn't have a name. He was just known as Anonymous. And come on there, looks like the computer's got too much going on. Sorry about this. Okay, let's do it right here. Known as Anonymous. Anyway, we're supposed to come out with was supposed to come out with some data on the banks that I think he was going to come out with Bank of America. So if that data comes out and it's really negative, really bad, I mean, they say this all the time. WikiLeaks, as you know, were the ones that started all this crap. And then when we found out that George Soros was basically funding them, his trial, then you pretty much knew that they were bought off and that they weren't going to release any really damaging information on the banks. Because once the bad guys buy you out, you're done for it. So that's a possibility. I did want to cover this again. You know, I speculated on this and went and found this myself about the water-powered car, and I put this on my blog last week. And I did want to cover it here again because, ironically, this guy here that talks about it as well says exactly the same thing that I said, was that Japan did not want to join the New World Order. The gangsters wanted to just be peaceful and do the right thing, and that they were ready to come out with a car that runs on water. Well, and you know what would happen with oil? This whole thing is staged that Lindsey Williams talks about, running oil up to $200 a barrel and bankrupting the American people, just robbing from them when they can get it out of the ground for $16 a barrel right here in Montana and South Dakota and North Dakota. It's just robbery. I mean, it's just absolute pure robbery. And, you know, that would totally sink their plans if Japan come out for a car that run on water. And they did. They did. The car was there. It was a real car, drove on water. And what did they do? They sunk Japan and everything. All the data, all that information went into the sea. And so this guy talks about it as well on that video. So now let's see here. Where was we? Back here on the charts. Let's look at the not the daily, but the weekly. The weekly, as you can see, I really can't tell a lot on the weekly other than this could have simply been a wave 1 down, and this was a wave 2 up, and maybe we have a wave 3 down this week. Start of a wave 3. If so, it should be more than 1 week. There's still no signs of the weekly turning back up. It looks like it wants to hook a little bit, but this is common whenever it goes down like this to have a little, you know, brief pause as you have one up week. So as you can see, the MACDs here are still crossed over. There isn't any sign of it turning back up yet. This is not showing signs of it turning back yet. And the key here is you'll notice that the histogram tower was still lower than the previous week, even though it was an up week. So that tells you it was a very light volume up week and still weak overall. So that's a good thing. But the bulls are still in control on the weekly chart. As you can see right here, where they hooked it back up, they're at 63.02 on the RSI, the relative strength. So there's still a little bit more buying than selling. And I think that's just the federal government buying, and the lack of selling is the institutions. Pretty much they haven't started to dump it into the market. So overall, I still think that this week is going to be a down week, regardless of all this manipulation. I think that while Monday could be a little bit of a choppy day, like I said, and you know, basically is a pause day, slightly up or slightly down, I don't know, you know, down here maybe again, like I said, hit this support level here, back up into the close, maybe put in a new high and sell off just a little bit into the close, just kind of put in another pause day, a spinning top kind of day. And if that's the case, at that point I would expect Tuesday to be the down day, and that to start the move down the rest of the week. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for, folks. We got to break out of this rising wedge. That's definitely got to be broken. And this lower line right here that is now support, that's another reason to think that it won't break. If you draw a line right here, this will come down and hit this support line. It's pretty much the same line that is running up here as support. So if you hit that, bounce back up, and then turn tail and gap down on Tuesday or something, that would be beautiful. I'd love to see that. Love to see that. And just gap down and keep on going down. Go down here and take out this low. You know, that's maybe wishful thinking, but we shall see. So that's all I got for now. I wrote this post earlier today, and I've kind of forgotten everything. I've calmed down a little bit, I guess, from when I wrote it, so I'm not as upset now. So I've kind of forgotten everything I was going to say. It takes a while to write these posts, and then to turn around and do the video for them as well as sometimes. But I'm going to have to put links up here for the two sons as well. Again, because I don't know what is going on here. I really don't know. I've got to think outside the box and know that we are in a time period that we're going to have the greatest stock market crash in the history of mankind. However, this is just based upon the numbers themselves, that you cannot continue to pay the interest alone on the debt. You have to have a default. It has to happen. No matter if you keep printing money or not, it has to happen. The market is going to crash at some point this year. There's no question in my mind that that is going to happen. These derivatives and all the debt, I think it adds up to, somebody said, over $100 trillion. Not the 8 trillion or 10 trillion that the government's reporting. No, over $100 trillion. It's insane how much, and it's just, it cannot be paid back. That's why you have to have a default on this debt. It has to just collapse. So regardless of whether or not the world ends, or not ends, but does a polar Earth shift and wipes out 80% of us, you know, in September, I don't know if that's staged or not. I just don't know. It always makes me wonder why the government would allow us to log in to their software and see this coming Elenin plant or dwarf star. Man, I'm tired. I'm sorry. So I don't know why they would let us see it, but it could have been a holographic technology showing this. So we will know later this year when we get closer here in America. We will see the two suns in the sky. But for now, I'll put links here on the blog as well to more stuff I can find about the two suns. But it's scary stuff. So whether it's fake or whether it's real, if it's real, we're doomed. You know, it's going to be just like it says in the Bible, and just like this guy covers here. You know, there's at least 4 or 5 different people that were visionaries, that were prophets, let alone Edgar Cayce, who is basically David Wilcox reincarnated. He looks just like him. If you went over to David Wilcox, and he is right here under David Wilcox right there. If you go and watch his videos, you will see that he shows you proof in his 4-hour video series of come on, if it'll come up here. Sorry, the computer's running a little slow. I got too many windows open. Well, it will obviously I got too much. See how much I'm running. Only 5.71 gigabytes. Well, anyway, it's just running a little slow. I probably got 150 windows open. I don't know. No exaggeration. My video card's not capable of handling it. Hey, looky there. Isn't that pretty? So, usually when I do that, clear the desktop and come back, that sometimes fixes it. But I guess not this time. Well, anyway, I'll close for now. I'll put the links there on the site. You guys can see them. You know what they are. There's too much stuff going on the site. Okay, gang. That's it. Sorry I'm having troubles like this. See ya. Good luck, everyone.